Okay, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining in and welcome to our MQ Traders live session. My name is Robin, your host for tonight, and the topic we'll be sharing today is how to identify a good stock systematically. Now, before we start, you can log into your MQ account first so that you can chat with us inside the chat box. And remember, you can reconnect audio device if you suddenly cannot hear my voice at any point during this live session. And just a quick disclaimer is that the content we'll be sharing today is solely for information and educational use only. It's not an investment or trading recommendation. Today, our live session will be broken down into 4 parts, and the second and third part will be the highlight of this live session, as it's the part where we will share to you the 4 steps to identify a good stock systematically to increase your winning chances in stock trading. Now let's get started with the first part, which is about MQTRADER. Now, anyone here know what is the full name of MQTRADER? Do you have any MQ fans that knows the answer? Anyone? What is our MQTRADER's full name? Now, never mind. Once again, our full name is Malaysia's Quantitative Trader Group, MQTRADER. We are a group of traders that uses quantitative methods to do stock analysis, and therefore we developed our own MQTRADER stock analysis tool, as we will bring some stock features that are normally only available to large financial institutions to our MQ members, as our objective is to empower our traders to make quicker decisions with greater confidence during stock trading. Now, right here you can see 3 examples of our quantitative data. Now, all these 3 ratings that you see on the screen are generated based on a lot of complicated data set, which normally people will call it big data. But then our MQ team has spent 5 years to build and implement this big data into our system. Then we use technology to simplify it. So in the end, with just one click in our MQTrader system, you will be able to see a 0 to 5 rating about one stock's fundamental, technical, or even backtest results for your buy signals. Now, if you're interested in any of the features and want to subscribe to MQTRADER services for free, you can actually open a free trading account with our selected advertiser, as right here you can see on the screen is the link to our advertiser. And then after you open successfully, you'll be able to use all our MQTRADER services for free. And that's all for our brief introduction. Now let's move on to our main focus for tonight. The 4 steps to identify a good stock and increase your winning chances in stock trading. Now, when you are trading or investing, I believe that some of you might have done this before, whereby you see a stock price, whereby you see a stock with high trading volume and the stock price increase a lot these days. Then, without a second thought, you will straight buy in without doing any research. Now, there might be a few reasons that you straight buy in without research. It might be because it's very troublesome to do research, or maybe you don't know how to do research on a stock, or even just because you have a gut feeling. That gut feeling that at that moment, the stock price will go up even more. Then you will straight buy in without doing any research. But in the end, you might lose because you didn't even know what you were investing in the first place. Then you might tell yourself, never mind one. For this time, unlucky. Only lose 5%, a bit only. Next time, I get lucky and win back the money. But afterwards, you keep on repeating this same mistake again and again when buying stocks, without identifying whether this stock is good or bad before buying it. In the end, you might lose quite a big amount of money without you yourself even realizing it. Then in the end, you might become the guy that says, stock market is like casino one, always lose money one. But actually, no. Stock market is not casino as long as you have the correct methods and knowledge to it. And that's why if you are really into investing, you should really need to know the basics on how to identify whether a stock is good or bad. And this live session, I'll give you the systematical way to identify a good stock. And what's special is that it's a systematical way, which means that you can keep repeating the same method for all your future stocks. And I know that you might feel troublesome to learn these 4 steps, but relax. as we will break down the steps one by one and make it as simple as possible for you to understand during this live session. So are you guys ready? Anyone is ready to know these 4 steps? Can you please type ready in the chat box to let me know? Anyone is ready? Hello, anyone is ready to learn? Okay, never mind. I will still start it anyway. So without further ado, starting with the first step is industry trend. Now, thank you, Easy Trade, for answering me. Okay, the first step is industry trend. So what is industry trend? Actually, industry trend is the news circulating around an industry or the speculation that something might be happening inside the industry. Now, is industry trend important? Yes, it is important because industry trend is one of the major factors that will affect a stock price. Because the common logic, I repeat, common logic only, is that if a company has good news, the stock price will go up. If bad news means the stock price will go down. Now, one example I can give you is when US increases the interest rate. It's a bad news for the tech industry and the tech stocks did drop afterwards. Now, rising interest rate will affect tech stocks and growth stocks a lot, especially because tech stocks have high price to earning ratios, or we simply call it PE ratio, and low dividend payments. Now, the high interest rate will slow down their business cash flows and bring negative impacts to their plans for reinvestment into innovation or any future growth prospects, which means that this high interest rate news will affect the future growth of tech stocks. That's why their stock price dropped a lot. Now, as you can see right here, the circle part, this is the Malaysia Tech Stocks Index. It also dropped a lot since the announcement of interest rate. Now, not just the tech industry. Actually, many industries are also affected by the rising interest rate as well. But here's an important thing to take note. As in the end, it still depends on the overall market, because it's not like if the is good news or bad news, then the stock price will go up and down 100%. Well, in the end, it still depends on the market, and the market itself is difficult to predict, because if it's easy to predict, then everybody will have become millionaire just by knowing the industry trend. But it still doesn't mean that industry trend is not important. It's still very important for you to find out the industry trend, or at least be aware of it when you want to invest in a certain stock. Because you really don't want to invest into something, then only realizing, wow, there are many bad news surrounding this stock. Now we can get industry trend information from a lot of places like IT Investor website, social media, or even newspapers. Now, like for IT Investor website, you can even check in the comment section and see what actually people are talking about a specific stock. Then you at least have a brief idea like what is the general market feeling about one stock. Is people talking good stuff or bad stuff? Or people being optimistic or negative about this stock? But if you are a very busy person and don't have time to look for news every day, you can actually follow our MQTRADER Facebook, as we have daily market updates and some financial updates as well. So it can save you a lot of time. Or if you really don't like to read words, you can also participate in our webinars held by MQTRADER, as we will be covering and sharing different topics regarding investing that might inspire you or give you more info about a certain topic. Okay, just remember that it's important for you to at least know the industry trend of one stock before you start investing today. And up next, the second step to identify a good stock is doing the fundamental analysis. Now, I understand fundamental analysis might sound very troublesome because you need to spend time research for details, but it's okay because we have a simpler and faster method for you. But first, what is fundamental? If a company have bad fundamental, will the stock price go up or down in the long term? Anyone can answer this simple question in the chat box. In long term, will it go up or down if a company has bad fundamental? Any answers to this simple question? Yes, thank you, Easy Trade, for answering. And for others, I'm sure all of you or most of you know it will go down if a company has bad fundamental in the long term. Because we all know that if bad, then it will go down. But actually, do you know what are the things that are included in the fundamental part that will affect a stock price? Now, for trading experts inside this live session might already know what is fundamental, but I will still explain a bit for people who are new to investing or just not that familiar with the fundamental part. Now, actually, a company fundamental will include a lot of information from their financial statement, such as company revenue, net profit, cash flow, and much more. Now, I know it sounds very troublesome, like need to read through a company financial statement to understand the fundamental, but never mind. Because remember just now I got mentioned we have a faster and simpler method for you guys to do analysis. Yes, and the faster method is by using the MQTRADER system. Because right here, you can use our system to generate the MQ fundamental ratings for your stocks. And the fundamental rating is generated based on multiple fundamental related criteria. And then the company must achieve a certain level, only can consider pass within the criteria. Now it's simple, the more they pass, the higher fundamental rating they will get. And usually we will only choose and consider ratings above 2.5 to be a good fundamental company. And also just to mention that our pricing criteria is not simply made up one. Like for example, the first criteria, the increased earnings over time, our system will take their earnings information from their financial statement and help you identify whether it has achieved growth in earnings for a few years. Then if the answer is yes, then only our system will show pass. And not just this one criteria only. As I mentioned, we have multiple criteria to determine whether this stock is good or not. And only if they pass these criteria, then only this stock can generate a high MQ fundamental rating. Now, after you've done the fundamental rating, we need to check the revenue and profits. Because most of the time, we only choose companies whose earnings and net profits are growing in an uptrend, are growing or in an uptrend. Now, again, all the information are available and easily accessible in our system. Now, like right here, this example is an uptrend revenue. Now, this now was a good example. Now, this is a bad example. As you can see, the profit is kind of unstable and even in the negative territory. In addition to revenue and net profit, we also need to observe data such as the profit margin, EPS, and PE, and so on. Now, all these data have their own meaning and methods behind them, but due to time constraints, we can't share them one by one during this short period of time. But if you want to learn, you can actually leave us a message in the comment section, say that you want to learn about a certain topic. Then we will do another live broadcast in the future to explain on it. And now we move on to the third step, which is the technical analysis. First of all, we'll look at the MQ technical rating. If it's greater than 3.0, it means that recently the stock price is in a good trend. Now, for people who are new to investing or not that familiar about technical analysis, actually technical analysis is a process where we will use the past historical market data, like previous stock price or even the trading volume, to predict the future market behavior with different sets of rules and trading strategies. Now, our system will help you to simplify this technical analysis process when you do stock trading, as we already compiled a few different trading strategies right here. Now, those circled in red are the different trading strategies. Then we will test them one by one to generate our MQ fundamental rating for you. Like this RSI, our system will auto-detect if the RSI of that stock has reached 70 level. And then it will only show whether this stock is currently overvalued or not based on this RSI strategy. Then we will use EMA strategy to determine whether the stock price is rising or falling. As for which EMA to use, it mainly depends on how long you want to see the trend. Like for example, for short term will be EMA 5 plus EMA 10 or 20. If you want to go for midterm, then it will be EMA 30 plus EMA 50 or 90. And last one is for long term. If you want to go for long term, then you might use EMA 90 plus SMA 200. And remember, it's also important to make sure that the trading volume is high, because the high volume proves that everyone generally agrees that this price trend will continue to rise. Now, right here, you can take a screenshot if you want to save this short to mid-term to long-term EMA indicators for yourself. And then here's a downtrend example. Now, up to this point, if you are able to identify yourself whether the price trend, whether the price trend is in an uptrend or downtrend, then generally you will be able to greatly reduce the risk every time you invest. RSI is one of trading strategies. Later, we will explain a bit on it. Then now is the last and most important part, is the quantitative process. Now, this part is important because it will really increases your chance to profit when you're finding the buy and sell timing for your stocks. In our quantitative method, we will analyze the signals that are generated by trading strategies. And we have a few different types of trading signals, but usually we will use these three trading signals circled in red. The EMA 5 crossover, the MQ volume breakout, and the turtle strategies. Now, for trading signals, you can either use our MQ screener to observe all the intraday buy and sell signals in the whole booster market. And remember that these signals are all generated by trading strategies. Or even you can search for a specific stock that you want and choose the trading signal type. Then afterwards, you'll be able to see the buy and sell signals of it. Like if we choose EMA 5 crossover, then the system will generate the signals based on the EMA 5 crossover that you have chosen. Now, the green and red arrows on the screen are the buy and sell signal based on the strategy. Now, after you choose your trading signal type, you can click the blue backtest button over here. Now, this backtest feature can help you to analyze the buy signals based on the trading signal type that you have chosen just now. This backtest will compile all the previous quantitative data of this stock and will show you whether this specific buy signal has a high or low success rate for you to profit, and at which trading day has the highest return possibility. And for backtest rating, we will only consider 3.0 and above to be good. And also an important thing to take note is that, can you see this red circle part? Now, those are the total signals analyzed during this backtest process, and it is important because you need at least 15 total signals analyzed, then only can consider this backtest is accurate. Now again, basically this backtest function will serve as a reference for you when you want to find a buy-in timing for a certain stock, as it will show you the success rate of a buy signal with the highest return day and with what is the percentage of the success rate. Now, in our system, you can use one backtest credit to do one MQ backtest. And just to notify that if you are an MQ member trader, you can use different amount of backtests for free every day under different packages. For example, the standard is 10 times a day, advanced is 30 times, and premium is 100 times a day. And actually, it's very simple to climb to the premium tier because our system will auto upgrade your package if you accumulate enough MQ points every month. Now, you can get the MQ points by trading or participate in our MQTRADERS activities like our monthly webinars, or even sometimes we might have Chinese New Year event or the Hari Raya event also that we might be giving out more MQ points. So make sure if you're interested in any of this, you can follow our Facebook for more info. So now it's time for our case study, as we apply this 4 steps that you learned just now into real life stocks to make sure that you understand it better. The first case study example is our famous bank company, the Maybank. As we said before, we will use the 4 steps to identify whether a stock is good or bad, starting with industry trend as our first step. As we also mentioned before, that there are many channels for you to get news regarding the industry trend, and for this time, we will get our industry news from our own MQTRADERS Facebook, as we have shared news about banking industries previously. And from this news, we can observe that Bank Negara has raised the interest rate, and rising interest rate is good news for bank stocks. Okay, just one example is that if the bank increase interest rate, all of us, we need to pay more for our housing loans, which means in the end, the bank will be able to earn more due to these rising interest rates. Now, step 2, let's look at the fundamental analysis. Now, Maybank's MQ fundamental rating is 3.1, which means our requirement of 2.5 and above. So, in fact, the overall fundamental of Maybank is good. But remember, the fundamental rating is only a general data. We will still need to click into the data to see if there's an uptrend in their growth. Now, after we click in, we can see that the Maybank's revenue is growing steadily in an uptrend momentum, which is good. And for their profit, is also growing in an uptrend momentum as well. Then for this part, the profit margin and dividend yield are maintained pretty good as well. So at least from the data's perspective, the fundamentals of Maybank are still doing very good. And then we move on to step 3, our technical analysis. And from our system, it shows 3.5 out of 5 rating, which means that at that moment, Maybank is in a good price trend. Then we take a look at this chart. As right here, the red circled part is where Bank Negara announced for interest rate hikes. And this chart, we will use EMA 30 and EMA 90 as a medium-term indicator, and then also add in buy signal of total system 20 as reference. You can see the part where I circled. This is the place where EMA 30 and EMA 90 lines touch each other. Then shortly afterwards, the EMA 30 line did break through EMA 90 and forms an upwards momentum in their stock price. And finally, we will be doing our last step, the quantitative process. Now we'll start by choosing a trading signal type in our MQTRADER system. And like in this example, we have chosen total trading system 20. And after we choose this, the system will generate buy and sell signals based on the total trading system 20. Afterwards, you can choose to click back test to test from the latest signal, or you can choose a specific signal that showed previously to test it. In this example, we will choose a previous buy signal to test. And after testing, this signal shows 3.7 points and the highest return day is on the 7th trading day. And also, it has analyzed a total of 21 signals, which means that this backtest is considered fairly accurate. Now, if we follow the buying timing of this buy signal, we will be entering at 8 ringgit and 42 cents, and then sell at 8 ringgit and 59 cents on the 7th day. Now, we will get a 1.92% return, which is almost 2% of return in 7 trading days. Now, in just 7 trading days, you already got 2% profit. Now, just try to imagine if you are being consistent and you keep on repeating these 4 steps when you do trading, then you will have a big potential to increase your overall winning chances in stock trading by a lot. So after this 4 steps process, we can identify that Maybank is a good stock because it has passed these 4 steps with flying colors. Then we move on to our second case study for the day, the famous Malaysia tech stock, Frontcan. Once again, we repeat the 4 steps. Starting with the first one is our industry trend again. Now for this time, we check the news from the i3 Investor website. As we can see here, there are news that most tech stocks are dropping in the US, and our Bursa market tech stocks are actually also following their footsteps. Now, one of the major reasons for tech stocks are dropping is actually due to interest rates, the rising interest rate. As just a simple Google search, we are able to see that there are many news covering tech stocks making losses worldwide, which means that we can conclude the industry trend for tech stock is kind of negative right now. The step 2 fundamental analysis, our system shows that actually Frontcan has a good fundamental with 5 pass and 3 fails in our criteria, generating a 3.5 out of 5 rating. Then we will check the revenue is actually in an uptrend as well. Same with profit, also in an uptrend movement. Then let's take a look at some other data. It's actually maintained pretty good as well, with the profit margin growing steadily each quarter, which means that we can, up to this point, we can conclude that the fundamental of Frontcan is good. Then for our step 3, technical analysis, our system only shows 2.0 out of 5, which means that at that moment, the price trend is not that optimistic. Then we can take a deeper look at this chart. We can see that the downtrend actually started around earlier this year, which is when US starting to increase interest rate and with the war going on between Ukraine and Russia. Now, right here, I use SMA 200 and EMA 30 to check on the trend for Franken. Now you can see that the place they are circled, the short-term EMA 30 and EMA 90 line is already below the long-term line SMA 200, which means that if the short-term lines are below the long-term lines, it is currently in a downtrend. Okay, now for our last step, the quantitative process. Once again, we will use Turtle System 20 to try to identify a buy-in timing. Now, the last place for buying signal was on 29th of July 2022, and the tested rating was only 2.0. Now, it is below 3.0, which means that normally we will not enter or follow this buy signal. But since we are doing a case study for tonight, we will still show you what will happen if you enter following this lower rating signal. Now, if you follow this signal, we will be entering around 2 ringgit and 86 cents and exit at the highest return day T7, which was 2 ringgit and 78 cents. And in just 7 days, we have already lost around 2.7%. Now that 2.7% is just an example if you have set a stop loss point for yourself. Now let's say if you didn't set any stop loss point for yourself, then maybe you will lose even more. So based on the 4 steps that we've done just now, we can come with the conclusion that Franken is a stock with good fundamental, but currently the price trend is suffering as what we can see from our step 1, 3, and 4. And by the time you have done these 4 steps, you have known for yourself that what kind of strategy that you can apply if the stock's fundamental is good, but current price trend is suffering. Now, final verdict. The 4 steps that we shared today will not guarantee you become a stock trading expert. But at least if you mastered it, it will greatly reduce the chances of you losing when you trade stocks and eventually gain more profit consistently in your trading journey. The keyword is consistently gaining profit throughout your trading journey if you follow these 4 systematical steps. Now, up to this point, if you have any questions, don't feel shy, as you can log in MQTRADER account and ask us in the chat box. And I also will check if just now got any questions. Okay, we have one question from Jove T. The question was, can you show how to select the indicators? Okay, for indicators, now we go back to our system. Okay, from our system, you come to screener right here. You can use our daily trading signals screener. Now this part is our screener that has screened through all the stocks that have generated a trading signal. Like for this one, it was generated by EMA5, or this one is the Turtle system that we use it a lot this evening. Or you can use this one to filter what kind of signal that you want to find. And for indicator, you can also actually you search a stock. For this part is the indicators that I mentioned just now, like the EMA 10 or EMA 20 combo that I used just now. Okay, right here, this part is the indicator. Okay, let's move on to the next question. For Grace Tank 25, how to check which sponsor package I'm at right now? Okay, to check what kind of sponsor package you are at right now, you can actually log in the MQTRADER system. Like right here, you can see I'm now using the Premier plan. Or you can even go in here, our MQ Member Center. You click here. Right here, MQTRADER package plan. It will also show what plan you are currently using. Now, you can, once again, I mention again, you will generate free MQ points when you do trading. And once your MQ points reach a certain level, like this one, 500 within that month, then you climb up to next year, the advance. And the same thing applies to the premium tier as well. Okay, the next question. If I want to trade based on signals, how can I filter through? Now, again, same with this one, screener, daily trading signals. Right here, you can filter all the signals one by one. And after you filter it, you can even run the backtest to test this signal has high success rate or not. Okay, I think that's all for the Q&A session. Okay, let's move on again. Okay, now thank you everyone for listening until this point. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I believe that amazing people like you guys surely love rewards, right? I mean, who wouldn't love free rewards? So I would just like to share with you some benefits and rewards you will get if you become a MQTRADER member. Now, right here, as you can see, are a few of our MQTRADER services, like our stock analysis tool that I use it many times during this live session. And the exciting reward that I would like to share with you first is our MQ affiliate program, the red circled one, where you can earn unlimited rewards when you introduce people to open a trading account. And the process to introduce people is also very simple because you can just send your friends a special affiliate link purposely created for everyone. Then afterwards, they can continue their open account process within that special affiliate link, which means that you no need to do anything more already. Then you can get the rewards after they successfully open and do trading. So if you are interested in any of the services on the screen, you can scan the QR code or find the links in our chat box. And another benefit is our MQ points, whereby you can use these points to redeem attractive rewards such as Shopee vouchers, KFC vouchers, and even our MQ merchandise for free. Now, all the rewards that I mentioned just now, all of it you can redeem for free if you are an MQ member. Because if you become a member, you'll be able to generate MQ points for free when you do stock trading. Right here, you can see on the screen, the first step, every time you do trading, then we move on to the second step, you will get MQ points. And then third step, we will use the MQ points that we have accumulated to redeem all kinds of vouchers and rewards that I mentioned just now in our MQ marketplace. Now, the rewards is totally free to redeem with MQ points when your trading account is open with our selected advertiser. The selected advertiser that I mentioned just now is M Equities LYH. Their trading account is also free to open one. And once you open, you'll be able to use all our MQTRADER services for free, like the system that use it during the 4 steps identification for good stocks. So if you're interested, you can scan the QR code right here on the screen to open a free trading account with M Equities LYH. And I'll also share a bit what type of account they have. Okay, like they have this cash upfront account with 0.05% brokerage rate only, which is very, very cheap in this market. So let's say if you are someone who is new or just want a very basic trading account to kickstart your trading journey, then you can try out this cash upfront plus FIS account. Now, the FIS account is a foreign investment services, which means that with this FIS, you can use it to trade US, Hong Kong, Singapore, and many much more foreign stocks as well. And most importantly, this cash upfront account is super cheap. Or you are a very experienced trader and want a higher leverage, then they also have this margin account, which might be something you are looking for. So if you're interested, you can check out the links in the comment section. And also what's more is that M Equities LYH site is also doing a limited time promotion, whereby you can get 100 ringgit cashback if you use the account to trade Singapore market stocks. Now, the 100 ringgit cashback is a guaranteed reward for you once you trade any Singapore stocks for just 3 times. Now, and what's even better is that not just the 100 ringgit cashback campaign, they even have this second campaign for you to win in Singapore dollars. Okay, this is the second campaign of MQTradeR has two types of rewards. The first type is a monthly reward, and the price is you can win up to 500 Singapore dollar, which is more than 1,500 ringgit for every month, by being in M Equity's top 3 highest traded client for Singapore stocks. And the second one is the final prize, as M Equities will select top 5 highest traded clients for Singapore stocks within the duration of 1st October this year until 31st March next year. And if you are really in the top 5, you are able to win the prize pool of up to 10,000 Singapore dollar. That is a huge amount if you convert back to Ringgit Malaysia. In addition, you can also get a free premium t-shirt with the value of 249 ringgit, or even use the advanced system, the advanced i3 investor portfolio integration for free, as to keep track of your portfolio performance. Now, I mentioned so many benefits if you open a trading account with M Equities LH. So quickly come to us if you are interested to use our MQ services for free, or if you are interested in any of the rewards and benefits that I mentioned just now. And remember, the trading account is free to open with M Equities LH team. So feel free to ask if you have any questions regarding the trading account with M Equities LH, as our team will help to answer your questions for you. Now, if you want to learn more about MQTRADER and stock investing, make sure to like and follow our social media accounts for more info. And we also have i3 Investor as well. And that sums up for our live session tonight. So here's a brief takeaway. You can take a picture of it or write down to your notes, as this basically are the summary of the things that we have learned tonight, so that in future you can keep on use and repeat the 4 steps that we have learned tonight to identify whether a stock is good or bad by yourself. Now, just again, a quick disclaimer that the content that I shared today is only for information and educational use only. It's not an actual investment or trading recommendation. So thank you guys for staying through. I sincerely hope that you guys have learned something today. And I wish you all the best in using the MQTrader system, and good luck in your trading journey. Now I will turn off the camera and end this session. So once again, this is Robin for MQTrader, and I hope to see you guys the next time. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.